Okay, I know I take ages in making reviews for both movies and games, but I believe I've sorted out a way how I can finally make reviews a lot quicker, and this process will be going through the same effect that is in this review. So, yeah. The beginning and the end of these reviews will just be me, how I am right now, and the game reviews will also go for the same thing. I know I have done camera shots before, but that was like in between, and also the beginning and end, and this time I'm just going to do it at the beginning and end as well. So, now we move on to our finally next movie review, and I am actually merging two reviews that I was meant to be doing but lost track of time, so I figured I'd just merge the two reviews together, so it goes a lot quicker that way. And I might be doing that for some other reviews too, so keep an eye out for that. So, I am going to be reviewing an animated movie and the first live action movie review on this channel. So, I'll be reviewing DC's / Warner Bros.'s Batman Gotham by Gaslight and the Marvel Studios' Black Panther. Let's begin with Batman Gotham by Gaslight, shall we? So this is part of the DC's animated universe. Now, I've only seen 6 animated DC movies: Gotham by Gaslight, The Killing Joke, Batman and Harley Quinn, the Lego Batman movie, The Return of the Caped Crusaders, and Batman vs. Two-Face. I do plan on watching other DC animated movies, like Mask of the Phantasm, those 2 animated Teen Titans movies, and maybe I'll watch more of the Lego DC movies. But for now I'm gonna talk about the latest animated movie, Gotham by Gaslight. I know the actual latest movie at the moment is Batman Ninja, but I made the script during the process of when Batman Ninja wasn't released yet. So, yeah. So the story of this movie is that it's set in the Victorian times. To kids, that's basically a time before technology, internet, and memes. Can I live in the Victorian times, please? No? Okay. At nighttime, a mysterious person called Jack the Ripper who goes out and kills people, mostly women. Many people in Gotham, including Batman, are wanting to find out who this person is outside of his disguise. When Bruce Wayne isn't Batman, he's doing different things, like looking for clues to who Jack the Ripper is, or spending time with a woman named Selina Kyle. They even get some time to know each other, although Bruce gets claimed as Jack the Ripper, and has to prove that he isn't the Ripper, and of course, stop the Ripper's plans. Now, just to make this clear, I haven't read the original Gotham by Gaslight story, so I don't know how accurate this movie is to the original story, but from the perspective of someone who has only seen the movie and not read the book, I think this was an interesting story. I do like a mystery story from time to time, guessing who is the killer. I won't spoil who we find out who Jack the Ripper is, but I will say I wasn't expecting that character to be Jack the Ripper. And for the love of God, does every mature DC animated movie have to have a scene that leads to 2 characters having sex? Seriously, The Killing Joke, Batman and Harley Quinn did the same thing, and it wasn't fun then, so what makes them think that they should keep doing it in each of their newer movies? Again, I haven't read the original story. Maybe there's something in there that relates to it, but I don't like it, especially if it adds nothing to the plot. The characters are pretty good. I'd say my favorite character in this movie is Selina. She has a backstory of being a lion tamer, and she's even one of those female characters that aren't a damsel in distress and can show that women can be as strong and smart as men. though not everyone seems to get that right in terms of writing women in movies, TV, games, or even books. Amy and Sonic Boom. But again, there are times they do get it right. Like Selena, again, I think she's a really great character. Bruce is good too. He's trying to deal with the whole Jack the Ripper thing and gets to know Selena, and making sure that no one knows that he is Batman. Other characters like Hugo Strange, Commissioner Gordon, and the three boys named Dickie, Timmy, and Jason do have moments for them to make some importance to the story. Mostly to help out in some way of finding the person who is Jack the Ripper, but they do get moments just to them. Alfred, well, he does what he normally does, helps out Bruce in whatever's going on, and even helps out Dickie, Timmy, and Jason, just as I was expecting Alfred to be like in this movie. The animation in this movie is pretty good. DC animated movies are usually 2D hand-drawn animated movies. They don't do anything groundbreaking like how Disney did when they used to do those kind of movies. The animation in these, while it does look good, you can really see the direct-to-DVD quality. Sometimes it might get put in cinemas, but it's usually for a one-night screening. I'm ashamed that this is going to be in cinemas longer than any other DC animated movie. When there's an action scene going on, the camera likes to make it feel like you're part of the action scenes. It looks nice in some scenes, but there are some scenes where it does feel a bit off. I'm not saying it's a bad idea to use it, but maybe use it less. The characters are nicely animated too, and don't look off-putting. The setting in each area we go to looks really good and captures the feel of the Victorian era. Some parts of the film have areas that look like they were 3D but have the 2D feel. Thankfully the animators made it look like it was more 2D than 3D, so that's a plus. The music is pretty interesting. While some scenes capture what kind of music would be used around that time period, some parts to me sounded like it came from Batman v Superman. Mostly the piece of music called A Beautiful Lie. It was really interesting to hear. However, some parts of the music are quite forgettable, but not by too much though. So, Batman Gotham by Gaslight was a pretty good movie. I'd say as of now this is my favorite movie from the DC animated universe, not counting the films like the Lego Batman movie. I'd recommend this to fans of the original story, fans of Batman, or fans of DC Comics. Very enjoyable, and I hope to see more DC animated movies like this in the future, but without the unneeded sex scene. But I'll have to wait until another good DC animated movie comes out, so that way they don't make that same mistake. Oh wait. So check it out if you haven't already. Okay, now let's move on to Black Panther, shall we? I'll say this right now. Black Panther is an amazing movie, but I wouldn't put it as the best movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe like how other people have. I'm still a newbie to the MCU as I didn't become a fan of it until 2016. I did know about it, and mainly for spawning in the Avengers and bringing more and more superhero movies each year than usual. I have seen all the movies in the MCU, so I can understand what's going on in each new movie released. Each new release is always better than these messes of movies. So what's the story for Black Panther? The story takes place after the events of Captain America Civil War. Black Panther himself, T'Challa, I might be pronouncing these names wrong, so I'll just put the names in text so that way you can probably get an idea what the actual name is supposed to be. Just a heads up. Is about to be crowned king of Wakanda after the death of the previous king, who was T'Challa's father. It's then discovered that someone is trying to expose the secrets of Wakanda's technology to everyone in the world. It's then discovered that the person who is trying to expose it is Eric Stevens, also known as Killmonger, who was the son of Prince N'Jobu. end job? I don't know. And wants to take control of Wakanda and bring down Black Panther himself and become Black Panther instead. This movie is actually really well done with the story. Like, it doesn't do the quote-unquote Iron Man formula, which apparently has been a staple in the MCU ever since the first Iron Man. Some films, it actually works. Other films, not so much. However, Black Panther actually was the one that actually broke it all. Some people thought that was actually going to happen with Spider-Man Homecoming, but instead it was actually happening with Black Panther instead. As it's, again, one of the things about it is that people thought it was the best MCU film, especially seeing as it's the most highest rated MCU film on Rotten Tomatoes. That's how we say it in the UK. So yeah, the story is pretty good. I really liked it. The characters are pretty good too. Like T'Challa or Black Panther, he is really great. He's always nice to people. He's always wanting to do what's right. And he can do pretty much a lot. And he tries his best at what he can do. His little sister is actually really interesting as she makes a lot of stuff with the technology that Wakanda has. And it's really interesting, and she's even quite funny, as there are scenes where she makes a lot of funny moments, like she might make a reference to something from the past. She even makes like really cool tech. Like, she managed to make a new suit for Black Panther. She makes this little virtual thing where you can actually like control a vehicle. That's actually really cool. I want something like that. I really want something like that. Killmonger is a great villain. I like what they did with his character. And we even get to know why he's being this evil. Why he wants to expose Wakanda's technology that they kept secret from the outside world. It's really well done, and there's actually a good reason behind it. And apparently this broke the quote-unquote villain curse. I actually had no idea this kind of curse actually existed in the MCU until I saw reports about it. There's lots of great characters in this movie, and they each get time to themselves, and they are not forced in, and they obviously have great moments to themselves as well. So yeah, the basic point is that the story is great, the characters are really well developed, and we even got to know some things about the past of the characters, and mainly the villain, and it's all greatly timed in, although there are some moments that can maybe go on for a bit too long if you ask me. And there's even some instances where they might repeat something from the previous MCU movies, like the potential explosion like that one scene in Captain America Civil War. I could go on about the characters, but I don't think I really should, as again, it could lead into spoilers. The CGI is really good. Like, again, the CGI in most movies nowadays are pretty standard to be good, although there can be some instances where maybe the CGI isn't so great. But this movie is really good with the CGI, like, again, with the way they use the technology of Wakanda, and some of the animals that we get to see, and a lot of things, like even the special effects, the areas that we are inside the movie. It's really well done, and I can tell that each MCU movie, they always improve from the CGI. Like Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, a lot of these movies always have great CGI. The music is pretty good. We get a mix of orchestral, we get a mix of remixes like dubstep or something, and we also get a vibe of African theme, because that's where the movie is basically set in. There are some instances where it's set in other places, but it's mostly in Africa that's the movie is set in, so it does capture the feel. I will say that. So the music is really well done, and scenes actually fit really well, although there are some tracks that could have been changed to make it feel a bit more better with some scenes. Mainly the dubstep ones. Like, if you don't put them in the movie and they were just their own things, they are good. But when you put them in some parts of the film, it can be a bit much. So a basic thing about this is that Black Panther is a great movie. It's an amazing movie, like I said before. And again, I don't think of this as the best MCU movie or best superhero movie ever made, as that can go to other titles. But I do think this is an amazing movie, and if you haven't already seen it, I recommend that you go and watch Black Panther. As a lot of people who weren't so keen on the MCU, they loved Black Panther, so that's a good enough reason to go see it. And it's even like the highest rated MCU film in Rotten Tomatoes, and yeah, there's like a lot of reasons. And of course, if you're wanting to make sure you've watched every single MCU film before Avengers Infinity War comes out, then obviously go see Black Panther, because that'll also help out with some things as well. So yeah, I highly recommend this to fans of the Black Panther comics, and of course fans of Marvel and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Check it out if you haven't already. Finally, the reviews for those two are done. I can finally move on. And again, I apologize that I took so long in making reviews. I want to be quicker, and now I think I can finally do so. So stay tuned for the next review, as it will be coming a lot quicker than usual. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a game review next or if it's a movie review next. Whichever it is, the process will be a lot quicker. So thank you guys for watching, and take care.